Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here, playing some more Warhammer Combat Cards campaign mode here with the 5-day campaign of the week. We're playing as Servants of the Emperor against Space Marines in the Siege of Fenris. This campaign looks strangely familiar. I feel like we've played this exact thing before. But the mission rewards are split into two sections as usual. For the first part, we can get copies of the Commissar with Inspiring Presence and the Cadian Shock Trooper with Endless. This guy in particular is really good. He synergizes well with Commissar Yarrick and Magos Dominus, so highly recommend using him with those warlords. These two cards have been around for a while, so we're just getting extra copies here, but the second set of missions introduces a brand new card, the Colexus Assassin. This thing is known as an anti-psyker weapon, and they have turned it into a psyker in this game, but it is able to debuff the enemy's psychic attack when you choose the ranged or melee option. And I'm very much looking forward to using this in battle once I've unlocked a couple of copies. But for this match, we are just going to be playing a regular campaign battle against a level 29 AI. I've been running a pretty standard Commissar Yarrick ranged build. For the big guns, we've got the Lehman Russ Battle Tank and the Dune Crawler, as well as the Vindicator Assassin, Tech Priest, Manipulus, Rogue Trader, and Junith Iruita. She doesn't have as high of an attack value, but the barrage is useful for taking out shields, and her melee buff can be useful in the late game should you need to end with a powerful melee attack from Yarrick himself. And it won't be a proper Commissar Yarrick deck without the supporting infantry, so we've got the Tempestus Scion and the Cadian Shock Trooper with Endless. Let's go ahead and deploy and see which of the Space Marine warlords we come up against. And this campaign, for some reason, I don't know how it is for other people, but I've been facing Watch Captain Artemis far more than any other warlord. I think at least half of the matches have been against him, and he can be pretty annoying to play against. But this time we are up against Logan Grimnar, and he is at level 2. Doesn't look too bad. And I'm thinking, they do have the initiative. The deck that I'm running has pretty low initiative, so I've been going second almost every game. We'll put down the big guy first. The Dune Crawler, and then we'll put this the infantry down. And they're bringing out some big guns too. Look at that, the Librarian Dreadnought. Level 4, that thing has Psionic Blast as well. That's going to be dishing out lots of damage. I think we'll put down... We'll go with the Tech Priest, Manipulus, over on the right side. That thing has Regeneration. Get a pretty good precision shot off from the Dune Crawler, 60 damage, and they are going for the psychic attack, but they're actually debuffing my ranged. So we do get a ranged buff when that first unit dies from Yarrick's Iron Will, but then their ranged debuff immediately gets rid of it, so cancel each other out. And we'll be able to fire off an attack here. The Dune Crawler is able to shoot down the Centurion, so that was actually pretty good. Except the Psionic Blast is actually going to be able to tear through the remaining health on the Scion, so that's unfortunate. And I'm guessing they'll go with another Psychic attack. Okay, yep, that is what they go for. So this time debuffing. That's a really big debuff to my ranged attack. I'm dropping it down all the way. And this is a new unit as well, the Ravenwing Dark Shroud. They changed its trait from Precision Shot to Inspiring Presence. It's a pretty decent unit, I'd say. And okay, well, this is not really going so great so far. Put down the Rogue Trader over here, and just keep going ranged. And that Dreadnought in the center is just able to deal a fair bit of damage each turn. It's countering with that ranged attack, and then they can just keep going Psychic while debuffing my ranged attacks. This is not going so great. However, they are not really making use of Logan Grimnar's special rule. He is a specialist when it comes to melee damage, but they have not gone melee a single time. They are charging up a melee attack, so it could potentially be pretty painful later on in the late game if they deploy some powerful ranged, or not ranged, but melee units. So once again, I think they might actually be able to destroy a unit with the Psionic Blast. It's not really working out so well for me. We'll go with the Shock Trooper, I think. We'll put it in the center. See what happens here. Okay, the Doomcrawler was spared. It has just 1 health remaining. That was pretty good. They decided to go with the charged up ranged attack for quite a bit of damage. Got another character on the right, Malkan Feros. This guy also got an increase to his stats in this season. He's able to deal more damage than he could before. And they're just tearing through my units here. It's not really going so well, but I think it's time to bring out the old Lehman Russ. And this should be pretty good. The precision shot there will shoot down the Dark Shroud. And then it'll also be able to... Wow, we had so much damage here. This is a pretty big overkill. But 160 damage to the Dreadnought, blowing it out of this world. And also taking down Feros with the remaining ranged attack. So now their enemy Warlord will be forced to deploy, but he does have... They have a big melee attack charged up. They got the Nemesis Dread Knight over there. So some really big things, and the Furious Charge here should be able to cleave through the Shock Trooper. So he goes down. They're going for the melee attack. That's 102 damage from Logan. And the Dread Knight able to chop up that Tech Priest. And they do have a powerful ranged unit as well. Got the Nephilim Jet Fighter. It's only at level 2 though, but it does have Big Game Hunter, so if only we could target the Warlord with the Vindicator Assassin, but alas, it is unable to do that. Do I want to deploy it across from the Warlord, is the question, or should I try to focus down one of the enemy units? I think we'll see how this works out. We'll focus down the Jet Fighter and deploy Junith over on the right side. So now their Big Game Hunter cannot target my tank. And we actually had a really big ranged attack. I didn't even realize how big of an attack that was, so that actually worked out quite well. Vindicator Assassin able to shoot down the Jet Fighter by himself. And then the battle tank opening fire upon the enemy Warlord, and they have no choice but to go with the Psychic attack, and Commissar Yarrick does not even have to deploy this round. Yeah, the Vindicator Assassin, that thing does so much damage for a 23-point card. Thing is pretty dang good for its cost. So Logan Grimnar going to the grave. So that was a pretty straightforward match. I think we got a good look at how Commissar Yarrick's special rule worked out with all of those the majority of the units in that deck buffed ranged, so I could just constantly get a charged up ranged attack that could be used to destroy the enemies. They did have a fair number of ranged debuffs towards the beginning, but it worked out in the late game once I got some of those strong units on the field. So let me know how this campaign is going for you. And once again, yeah, so once the next set of mission rewards unlocks, each elite card in your deck will add more to your score. So I'm thinking of using Inquisitor Greyfax. I can show you the deck I have prepared for that. We got Greyfax. Servants of the Emperor have quite a few elites, so I'm thinking of just using something like this with a mix of all 3 attack types. Lots of very cheap units, a couple Berserkers in there. I think they will combo pretty well. We got 64 points remaining, so I'll be able to get a little bit of a boost from Greyfax. Not the best, but I still think it helps to have lots of cards in there just to increase the total amount of health that your deck has. So that's probably what I'll be using. We'll see how it works out. But that's it for this campaign. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.